Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So there is this video I came about Rabbi Pe0ple and Candace Owen interview, and it has really been proven that these people are just the Zionist Jews are gatekeepers of hate speech, and they will produce hate, nothing much. Their propaganda is just something that I really do not understand. But I am trying to understand how a full-grown man that calls himself a religious person is actually out there trying to defend genocide that happened, and then has the guts to say that, if you are not Zionist or something like that, that you are not qualified, or probably Black people are not qualified to speak about the Jews and all that. And I am asking, who really said that? Who said that? But it's amazing how all of them are all in Black people's business anytime, any day, Black Lives Matter and the rest of it. But we are not qualified to talk about their crazy attitude, because their attitude is actually crazy. And the reality is that not until we realize how harmful that Zionists are, Zionist is, they are really very harmful to the world. And the fact that they found a Black, because Candace Owen was actually a threat to them, because she was actually defending herself and defending other people. So for that reason, she automatically became a threat to them. You know what? Let's get into this video.
I'm going to ask you a specific, simpler question. Do you believe there is a qualitative difference between what was done on October 7th and the horrible tragedies that are going on in Gaza, with children being used as human shields and dying and being killed, with all of that? There are tragedies going on in Gaza we both agree on. Do you believe that there is a radical difference between what happened October 7th and what is going on there? Or do you believe that there is really not a moral and huge qualitative difference? It's one or the other.
How it's happening is different. How it's happening is different. There's no question that it's different.
It's evil just the same way.
Children, innocent children dying. If the consequence of children is dying, of course it is an evil thing for innocent children to be dying.
Do you believe? Okay, so I want to make sure I'm hearing you. Okay, I don't want to misinterpret you. I am asking for specific answers.
It is always an evil, and I again say this as a Christian, it is always an evil when innocent children are killed. Always an evil.
So do you believe that October 7th is more evil than what's happening when the innocent children are dying?
Pardon?
I'm asking you.
What?
I'm asking you the simple question. Do you believe there's a greater depth of evil in what happened October 7th than any of the tragedies that are happening in Gaza?
Let me actually toss this back to you, because this is a great question.
So
I think no. This is a great question. I'm glad you asked this, but I want to toss this to you because one of the things that was also radically misinterpreted. Actually, I was talking about Brian Mass in his language when he said that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian life. I thought that was horrifically genocidal to say that. And that has been a huge conflict of whether or not what's happening is genocidal or if it's not genocidal. And something that I don't think that we have a clear definition on is genocide. And this is, obviously the word was created post-Holocaust. And so I would just like to get from you, because we're running out of time.
So I'm not trying to, I don't use the word.
You don't use the word genocide?
Nope.
So you wouldn't describe the Holocaust as a genocide?
I would describe it in other ways. It's just not the language I use. So for me to say that this is a definition would be arrogant and inappropriate, because.
But what percentage of a certain group of people have to die that would constitute a genocide? Because I think that's part of it. It's a backboard where it's like, listen, if we can just say X amount of people, percentage of people dying of the same ethnic group.
Candace, you don't. I am telling you point blank. You're asking me to define a term that I don't go around utilizing. Okay. So I don't. You're saying define this, and what I'm saying is I don't use that term. I am asking you a very simple question, which you have avoided a yes or no on.
I haven't avoided a yes or no on anything. I've been answering you this entire time. I am just saying that if the consequence for me, I cannot, what happened on October 7th to me was so horrific and was so evil. And partially the reason why I believed it was so horrific and so evil was there was no military target. You were just targeting civilians, and civilians are innocent, right? And so for
Okay,
you to then tell me,
and
is it more or less evil when now innocent civilians, what is the number at? Can you tell me what the number is at of Palestinian children that
No,
have
I
been?
can't because the Hamas authorities aren't.
I know, but I'm
Candace, let me
asking
just
you.
give
I'm not asking Hamas. I'm asking you.
Candace, I'm going to try and make
So
this
when you're
as
asking me to
simple as
compare,
I'm
and
trying
what you're
to make
actually
this easy.
asking me to do is to compare, is to state whether or not I
No,
believe.
I'm going to make it easier
no,
than that.
well,
Okay?
please let me finish
I'm
this.
going to make it easier than
I
that for
feel
you.
that question, okay, is you trying to
Okay,
make
so
me
I'm
make
not
a
asking a question.
statement
Let me try
that
to get the question, okay? I believe that what happened on October 7th is a uniquely dark form of evil on a whole other level, in every way, shape, or form of evil than anything that is happening in Gaza. Do you agree with my statement or disagree? I don't need explanations. Do you agree with me or disagree?
I have said to you 1,000 times, I feel like what you are asking me to do right now, I'm looking at the cost of life. This is how I analyze things.
So you can't agree. You're not going to agree with me.
I am uncomfortable with the amount of innocent life that is lost right now in Gaza.
So you're not going to agree with me. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on because there's other stuff. Because there's another piece in that
because
article.
part of it feels like you want me to weigh, like, is Jewish innocent life worth more than Palestinian innocent life? And I'm not comfortable with that.
You've made that clear that you don't view it the same, or you'd be able to say that what happened on October 7th.
I view innocent life as innocent life.
That's not what I meant. And you do not get the right to say what is anti-Semitic or Jew hatred.
I'm not trying to. I don't think I said anything about me having the right. I just said to you, would you then view, because I did host somebody who is Jewish, Dave Smith, on my show. And I'm sure you're familiar with him. He's a comedian. He's a libertarian. He is not pro-Zionist.
So here we got a perfect example of this Rabbi Barclay, saying that if you're not a Zionist Jew, you cannot criticize any Jews whatsoever. And Candace makes a perfect example. This same man has criticized BLM when you're not black. But there's nothing wrong with that. But for some reason, if you're Jewish, if you're criticizing Jews, that's a huge problem. You can't do that, or your livelihood is threatened. You know what? It's time for people to wake up and see these people for who they really are and what kind of schemes they've been pulling. That's why our world is on fire, because of them. They do things behind the scenes you don't even know. Armenians in 2020, it was Israel who sold Azerbaijan the phosphorus gases, and it's a war crime, and yet they're still pumping it. Did the world say anything? Did Israel come out and say, hey, this is genocide? Israel didn't say shit. Yeah, here I have to feel bad for when Jews are being attacked. Like, don't get me wrong here. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want no lives to be lost for over some dumb reason. But when you're perpetuating the violence behind the scenes, and then finally it turns around and comes back to you, and all of a sudden, that's a problem. Now you reap what you sow. You sown a lot of evil, and you're gonna have to deal with it. If you didn't watch this Candace and Rabbi Barclay video, I will link it in the description below. That way it'll really be cool if you guys could check it out and just look at the idiocy of this man. And he calls himself a rabbi. He calls himself a religious leader when he's making up lies on somebody, making up rumors when he has no facts, nothing to back up his claims. So please take a look at it and comment down below, or however you want to do it. Discuss it with your loved ones, and let's get this thing moving. Take care.
That's not what I meant. And you do not.
What is the authority that the rabbi and many others like him have to say? She pinpointed that she brought a man who is Jewish, and I'm referring to Candace Owens, to the show to clarify of what she said and what she was supposed to say. And he pretty much said, as a man who's Jewish, and this is his religion, he said what they did was physically and mentally cruel, because he said he is appalled. There's many people in the Jewish community, whether they come from Israel or wherever they come from, they pretty much are totally against it. They even fighting against it and even working alongside with many people who believe what they did was wrong. And then he's trying to correct, and I'm referring to the rabbi, he's trying to correct Candace on what she should say and what she should not say. How is it anti-Semitic when she's speaking the truth of what she sees? We all see it. How is it anti-Semitic? She didn't say anything detrimental. She didn't say anything illegal. She didn't say anything of causing harm. He keeps on saying, do you think it's moral of what had happened in October the 7th? And he's trying to tell her what she's supposed to say. There's no morals when you take a life of someone's life, regardless of what the person said or done to you. There's no morals when we see that half of the population of the Palestinians, and women and children, I'm referring to children, they are basically dead, non-existent, unalive. There is no morals when in the midst of their religion, just like you guys have a religion, you pretty much can eat bread and pray, but meanwhile they see bombs coming after them. Their houses are taken away. Children have found themselves fatherless and motherless. Okay, you cannot rectify of what you have done and feel like it is the right way to do that. When Adolf Hitler went and put people into camps, and even I'm referring to black people too, because they were in camps, the first thing he did, okay, to the people then, he sterilized the blacks so they cannot procreate. He turned around and put them in concentration camps where they worked, and he tortured them, similar to what he did to the Jewish people. What he did was mentally and physically cruel. He was a terrorist, okay? And I'm seeing the same scenario happening. You know, if you're going to take me off this app to speak my personal opinion, because you're literally telling her and correcting her. It's the same thing they did to Kyrie Irvin when he read a book, okay? And he gave a comment to the book. And because of this controversy with Kanye West, he got into the midst of it. And they were trying to tell him that he has to go to the museum. He got to pay money, his fee, his dues. He has to be suspended. And then what they did at the ball game, they had all the people then who are Jewish to stand there and sit in the front court. They were taunting him. And then what made it was to the point that everybody started circling around and supporting him. They had people from all nations, religion, coming there and boycotting Barclays Center. And you know, this is the reason why I am not for Jay-Z. Because when this situation happened, Jay-Z came to Center Court and he was still going there and acting like nothing happened, because that wasn't his part. Because Jay-Z is part of the Three Horsemen circle. He's part of them. All his management team, and then Beyonce, she went and had a concert supporting the pro-Israelites because her team is part of them, okay? But, you know, Candace Owens was a part of them too, until she got kicked to the curb because she said something wrong because she was making her personal opinion, okay? I know a lot of people are not a fan of hers. I'm not either. But when we look at the scenario, come on, guys. They are targeting her, okay? But you see, that's the same thing she did when she went and ranted and raged about Black Lives Matter. She should have done her, to me, she was throwing them underneath the bus. Now you don't hear no Black Lives Matter. It's because the people that she was working with, they were totally against Black Lives Matter, okay? You know, this group, and people may not say it, they use that anti-Semitic all the time. But when I look at some of the things they do, some of the things that comes out of their mouth is racism. All right? You need to listen to Ben Shapiro and listen to his conversations and look at the tapings that he talks about. Okay? You need to listen to most of the people that are on the wire on that app and listen. Go to Bill Murray's shows and look back at some of the conversations when he had conversations, and he talks about the Marx theory, and he talks about Charles Darwin and all that stuff. Charles Darwin turned around and said that black people were made out of monkeys, and we came from the evolution time and all that stuff. So where did the Caucasian people came from? You understand what I'm saying? To me, Charles Darwin's theory, pretty much multiple times, he was kicked out of schools and institutions because they thought that some of the things he said was very asinine, and it was prejudice. You read about Charles Darwin and even Marx theory. You read about some of their fascistness and their racism that they said. Okay, and even people who had to go to college and listen to the philosophy and had to take that course and listen to his foolishness. Okay? You know, he literally thought that black people were monkeys, if I stand corrected about Charles Darwin. All right? But this is the type of, we are seeing now who is in charge of the United States. We are seeing now who's in charge of the social media apps, who are the mediators, who's the ones that put people on community guideline and blogs. We are literally seeing the people in that group and organization, and honestly, they're not that strong. They pretend that they're strong, but you see, we need to come together as a collective. All right, not looking at we could turn around and tell Candace Owens how we feel, you know, but in this situation and it's a scenario, we have to come together, regardless if you guys want to support her or not, because they're going to do it to another person again, because we have been seeing multiple times that they have done it to our people, and we can't be wiping out our people. They're the same ones that bring these information to these people to come with legislative things to try to prevent us to know about our history. Because I remember one time I did a documentary here by telling the story about one of them who pretty much had basically did the slave trade and helped the banking system, and also started to start apartheid in South Africa. And people honor him, and they even have a school named after him, and his name is Cecil Rhodes. And he also started doing the diamond industry for Beers, Tiffany's, and many others, and even gold too. Okay. Meanwhile, he was trying to wipe the population of people that was in South Africa and in their Congo. And they also did Holocaust in there. Okay. And when I brought my information, I end up going on community guideline. People, when you tell people, oh, I am a Rhodes Scholar, they name after a man who started slavery, who started apartheid, and they honor him. And he comes from that group, that same group, where the rabbi sitting there trying to tell Candace, oh, the man that you just mentioned, he's not Jewish. He's not a part of the Zionist group. So he had no right to talk about it.
So this is all I got from this video. And now let me tell you something. These people really know what they are doing. And this Rabbi Pe0ple, there are some people you see that, I mean, like, you know, he really got on my nerves, like trying to explain that, or trying to prove that Zionist Jews are gatekeepers of hate. Like, really, they are gatekeepers of hate. And first of all, I'm going to, like, you know, I am not a fan of Candace Owens, but she really did a good job with her, like, you know, talking with that man, you know. And we cannot be bullied, you know, into believing what we do not believe in and all that, you know, but because it's really amazing how, like I keep saying this, the Black community is really very lenient, like, you know, so lenient. Look at Rabbi Pe0ple telling us that if you are the person, if you are not a Zionist, you really do not have, like, you know, opinion, or you cannot speak on some certain things when it comes to the Jews. You all are liars. And not until you all stop lying. Look at, you can see, like, you know, all these people, believers, and that's why like I really like trying not to believe in anything, because sometimes I feel like judgment is going to start from the Church of God or something like that. Because the way you see all these people or religious people talk about some certain things, it's just like you see how cruel their mindset is and the rest of it. And you can imagine a full, like, you know, grown man being a Christian or having something he believe in, coming out to tell you that they are not coming in anything and there is nothing, like, you know, it's all okay. It's really amazing how they glorify crime and make crime look like it is nothing, or unaliving innocent kids. It's nothing. You know, that's how they're making it look. And trust me, this world is going to really be a better place, a great place, an amazing place without Zionists. And that is something that a lot of people really need to understand. Now, let's get into this. It's amazing how people want to tell us that maybe as a black, like, you know, I remember during Black Lives Matter until this very moment, everybody is still giving their opinion. Some people trying to shame us for what we believe in, or the movement that we believe in, trying to tell them or educate people that our lives are really very important, you know. Did we say because you are not a black person, you know, that you shouldn't talk about Black Lives Matters and all that, you know? It's just like a discussion. Everybody come online and talk about it. Some people add their opinion and the rest of it. And he is saying that we do not have any right to speak on what is going on as Jews if we are not Jews. You know, is that what they are trying to? That shows that you all are liars, you know, because if there is a particular group of people that is supposed to talk about what is going on or what, how you guys have been, like, you know, acting all these years or all this. Okay, now let's say not all these years. Let's say all this month, because I have seen you people, you all believers, look for a way to sack people from their jobs, especially black people. Why? Because you all believe that they were brainwashed from not supporting you people. Right? And I see a lot of you, a whole lot of you going around harassing innocent people. Why? Because they are not supporting you. Because you all feel like you all should get all the support from everybody, including black lives, like black people and the rest of it. But then they went ahead to tell us that because they supported black people during civil rights movement or during whatever Black Lives Matters and all that, for that reason, you are also entitled, like, you know, it is something that they are entitled to it, because that's what they say, you know, they deserve you all support. But now let me say this and make it clear. I want you all to know that if there is anybody support, like, you know, supporting people is not transactional. We are not going to watch and see you unaliving people and you want us to support you, man. That is evil. And black people do not support evil. That's why they are not supporting you, and they will never support you, no matter how hard you all try. Because I say, yeah, it's really amazing how your media PR, they already failed, right? And they really know that. That's why when you go around, you see them trying to offer money to people to do posts and all that in their favor. If you are doing something right, you do not have to pay people to be on your side. Automatically, people are going to be on your side. But then probably you people are not ready to talk about this, and you all are also not ready to listen, you know. I love the fact that Candace always spoke to the Jews the way they want to be spoken, because she actually came correct. Even if I am not her, but she came correct. She really told it to his face, not behind his back. And that is really amazing. And I love her braveness. She really came, like, she is very brave on that. And I never thought that I would ever agree with her, Candace. Oh, we're not even for once or anybody. In this case, I agree with her. And the Jews can do whatever they want to do. And yeah, that is it. So whatever they are doing and all, they actually come to tell us that they represent God and all that. But I am going to say this, and they do not represent any God and all that. And that is, if you are black people are the real Jews and the rest of it. And the Hebrews are also called the black people too. So if you are saying because somebody is not a Zionist for that reason, that person is not qualified enough to speak on anything going on in your community or the Jews and all that. You are such a great liar. That's all I got to say. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.